This piece of paper right here lists the 4 steps that I took to learning a new online skill that made me over $500,000 my first year out of college and over $5 million my second year out of school using nothing but a laptop and an iPhone. And just to prove that claim to be true, right now on the screen you're gonna see my Stripe account, in which last August we made over $639,000. But it's not just me. You see, Matt made $15,000 last month. Whitney used this to make over $18,000 in 30 days. Jose made $16,000 in 11 days, and Jennifer made 50 grand in the past 30 days. And the best part about this is it doesn't involve building a complicated business, because today we're not gonna talk about an e-commerce business like dropshipping, Amazon FBA. We're not gonna talk about starting an agency or real estate wholesale or any of those opportunities that those gurus talk about online. Now, what we are gonna talk about today is how I took my passion and turned it into a multiple 6-figure business by tapping into the fastest growing $300 billion industry that's happening today. Now, with all that being said, you might be wondering, well, what is this opportunity? Well, it's called the e-learning business. And in order for you to understand how you can get similar results with this business model, I need to first share the story of how I came across it, because otherwise this content won't make sense without the context. Now, this is not gonna be a 2-hour webinar where I pitch you my sob story and then sell you a 997 course at the end of it. In fact, I don't even have anything to sell you in this video. In fact, if you see on the screen, this video is actually only 20 minutes long, and if you stay to the end of the video, I'm gonna give you access to a $1,500 course for free that's gonna show you how you can hit 10K in the next 42 days. And if you're wondering, well, what's in it for me? Just stick around to the end of the video and you're gonna find out about the university I founded, as well as the guaranteed job placements that we're handing out. So let's go jump into my computer. So this is how I made $40,000 to $50,000 a month in profit selling knowledge I already knew with an e-learning business. Now, who's Richard? Well, I'm the founder of Impact Clients Universities. Our headquarters is based in Austin, Texas. And because of my business, I've been invited to speak in dozens of stages in front of thousands of entrepreneurs. My business has allowed me to network with highly influential entrepreneurs, athletes, and influencers. And as long as I have a Wi-Fi connection and a laptop, I can truly work from anywhere in the world. But it wasn't always like this. You see, back in 2018, I was just a broke college student getting a biology degree, and couldn't even afford rent. And around this time, I was about to head into medical school, but I was thinking about the $200,000 in student debt, an additional 8 years of my life, only to make a 6-figure income after that, and something just didn't feel right. So rather than go the 9-to-5 route, I decided to start an e-commerce business because of all the online gurus that were talking about it. And after a year of trial and error, which I should have honestly found a mentor, but I did it on my own, and I grew it to about $30,000 a month, only to realize that I hated it. And I hated it because the first reason was I didn't feel like I was actually helping people. You know, I got into medicine because I wanted to actually help people and change people's lives by helping their health. But selling random products like fidget spinners and other viral products that Chinese manufacturers are telling me to do just didn't feel like I was making a difference. And the second thing was, just because you're making $30,000 a month, it doesn't mean you're actually keeping $30,000 a month. Because what the online gurus didn't tell me is that after you minus your ads, your cost of goods, your shipping, your refunds, you're only getting about a 10% profit margin, which meant that $30,000 a month, I found out, was only about $3,000 a month, and that's inconsistent. That's like riding a roller coaster. And so I started questioning myself, well, why are all these online gurus teaching other people what they do? Like, why do they make social media posts about this all the time? And I found out the guru that I was learning e-commerce from, he had a $50,000 a month e-commerce business, which now I knew was only about $5,000 a month in net income. But he was making over $200,000 a month teaching other people how to build an e-commerce business. And that's when I discovered this e-learning business model, which is making money teaching others what you already know by selling online digital products. And when I looked into this, it was crazy. It turns out the market was about $144 billion in 2019. But by 2026, it's projected to over 2.5x to $374 billion. You see, even the pandemic forced traditional colleges and universities to go online, and so people are hungry for online learning more than ever. And it was around this time I was about to graduate, and I met a mentor named Vince, who had an e-learning business teaching other guys how to build muscle. And he was cool. He was making about 300 grand a year, and he didn't really have a personal training certification. He didn't go to school for that. And so I wondered, how did you do this? And so he mapped this out on a napkin for me. And he said, Richard, you see, everyone in life goes through some kind of struggle. Whether that struggle is you're overweight, you have a struggle in a relationship, you don't have money, maybe you're a student, you have bad grades.
But the thing is, you probably figured out a way through trial and error, through reading books and watching YouTube videos on how to figure it out, which means eventually you reached mastery. You found the solution and you gained knowledge. But here's the thing. There's other people who are still going through that struggle, and they can either go through the same struggles and pain that you did of figuring it out on their own, or they can learn from your experience, which is where your e-learning offer, your digital product comes in hand. But I started asking myself, well, what would I even teach? I'm 21 years old, I'm a college student, and how am I even qualified to teach other people? Because I didn't have confidence in myself, I asked him for a job so I could learn from him and be mentored by him. And because his business was growing so fast, he decided to give me a job as an intrapreneur, which is pretty much when you work as an entrepreneur within a company. And it was awesome. I was making about $6,000 a month working fully online from a computer, and I was also gaining skills by learning the ins and outs of the business. But 90 days into it, I was still hungry. I wanted to learn if I could now teach other people my knowledge as well. And so my mentor asked me, well, Richard, what's one thing that you struggled with in the past that now you've become pretty good at? And when I looked at when I first came into college, I was pretty bad at my time management. But by my senior year, I had pretty good grades because throughout college, I watched YouTube videos, I was passionate about reading books on productivity, and I didn't really have a certification or anything like that, but my mentor showed me how to package my knowledge into a $1,000 information product to help other college students with their productivity. And it was crazy. Within that first month I launched this business, I ended up making $50,000 in sales. I literally couldn't believe it. And I started wondering, well, I realized people actually were willing to pay me for my knowledge, not because I had multiple degrees or I was an expert like Tony Robbins, but just because they wanted to learn from someone that they could relate to, someone who had just been there and done that. And because I was only a few steps ahead of them, I was relatable. And after 1 year, that product actually made me over $500,000 my first year out of college. And there's 3 things I noticed about this business model. The first thing was it was really time efficient. You see, I didn't have to quit my job. I loved working for my mentor. This was just a side business that I worked on for 2 to 3 hours a day during my free time. The second thing is it was very profitable because I didn't have to spend any money on a product, shipping, and I didn't spend money on advertising. If I sold the $1,000 product, I kept 95% of it. Versus the ecom business, if I made $10,000, I was actually only keeping about $1,000. In this situation, $10,000 a month meant pretty much $10,000 a month in income. And finally, it was fulfilling. I felt like I was actually helping people by changing someone's life every single time someone bought my product. And so many of my friends saw my growth my first year out of college. They started asking me, well, do you think you could help me turn my passion into an e-learning business? And honestly, I didn't know. I thought maybe I was just a fluke. So I decided, well, let me help and let me try to see if I can help you out here. And it was crazy. Daniel, one of my buddies, was a full-time nurse and he was passionate about personal finance. He ended up making $33,000 in his first month. Ryu, a dance instructor, ended up making $18,000 in 30 days teaching other people about dance. Even Bruce, who is a 20-year-old passionate about skiing, he ended up making $13,000 in 7 days. He quit his job after making 13 grand. It literally felt like this was a gold rush of the 2020s. Like I discovered a new business model that could take anyone with a passion in anything, regardless of their age, their gender, their education background, and help them make a 6-figure income in as little as 30 days. And as more and more people started finding out about my friends' results, more and more people started asking me for help. I literally felt this calling from God that I needed to reform the education system. And so I decided to start an online school, and I called it Impact Clients University because I want to impact my clients' lives. And within 1 year in 2021, our university helped over 850 people turn their ideas, their passions, into 6 to 7-figure e-learning businesses. So now that you know what the e-learning business is all about, you might be wondering, what's the specific step-by-step process on how to do this successfully? Well, after mentoring over 850 students on this, I've boiled it down to really 3 simple steps. 3 steps to take you from a complete beginner to making $10,000 to $20,000 per month over the next few months with an e-learning business. Now, this first step is how to find your 6-figure idea even if you don't have any skills right now. Now, the big idea here is you must be able to create value for others. And the way you do that is by focusing on one specific segment in the market. I always like to say the riches are in the niches. Now, when you do this, this is what's called picking a niche. Okay. Now, these 3 simple steps are going to help you lock in on what your 6-figure niche is going to be. The first thing is brain dumping your ideas. Now, ask yourself a few of these questions, write them down on a piece of paper. What kind of life or career experience do you have? And what do you love learning and talking about in your free time? When you write these things down, analyze, out of all of these things you write, what consistently stands out? Next up, you're going to reflect on your own hero's journey. Think about what is a problem that you've mastered in your own life. And thirdly, we want to craft your transformation marketing statement, otherwise known as a TMS. This simply is a statement that goes, I help who achieve what by offer. To give you an example of mine, when I first started off, my TMS was I help college students become more productive by my high performance strategies. Pretty simple enough, right? Well, I want you to meet Lucas. Lucas was one of my friends that I helped out initially, and he loved playing a video game called Rocket League, and he wanted to coach other people on how they could get better at playing this video game, believe it or not. And so he created a TMS called I help Rocket League gamers achieve top 10% status by Rocket League coaching. And within his first month of working with me, he ended up making over $30,000 in sales selling a video game course. What's so crazy is we actually had a live event a few months later, and we brought him up to the award ceremony because 3 months later, he actually grew his business to over $100,000 per month. And the crazy thing is here, you don't have to teach people how to make money. That's a common limiting belief where it's like, oh, I don't have a skill where I can help people with money. If Lucas can charge $1,500 to teach people how to play a video game, what is your excuse? Soft skills matter too. Another example is John Franco. His statement is, I help guys who struggle with porn become porn-free within 90 days by anti-porn coaching. And he ended up making $30,000 within 30 days with this niche. And it was really fun. He texted me the other day saying, yo, I had a $10,000 day. Tell Coach Cameron I'm learning. I was super proud of him. He wanted to tell Coach because Coach Cameron was one of our staff members on our team. And Paige is a college student who wanted to help other people with their personal finance. So she created a TMS that reads, I help college students figure out their personal finance by student finance education. And she ended up making $11,000 in her first 30 days. The best part about this is you don't have to be a master at the skill you're teaching. You can learn the skill as you go along. You see, when I first launched my productivity offer, I was definitely not an expert. And as I was making sales, I just started reading a few more books to become better versed in productivity. You see, the worst thing that you can do is say, I want to research and study for the next 3 months. You see, Henry Ford was famous to have said this quote, which is, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. If you tell yourself you're not ready, then you will never be ready enough. And even if you don't have an idea, that's okay. You know that 40% of the students who end up with six-figure e-learning businesses, they start with absolutely zero idea for a niche. And do you remember how I got my start as an entrepreneur? Well, at our university, we actually have a paid internship placement system, which means if you feel like you're really beginner, you probably want to stay to the end of this video because I'm actually going to share with you how you can get a guaranteed job placement within our university. So now you've learned the exact framework for how to find your e-learning niche. Now, the second step is how to turn that niche into a client-getting machine. And we use the 4-step client-getting machine here, which when our average student in our university uses this, they're able to make about $10,000 within the first 30 to 45 days. So let's start with the first part, which is the social media post. Now, when most people talk about reaching their target customer, they use paid advertising like Facebook ads or YouTube ads, but that's way too expensive because you have to spend $100 a day, which is $3,000 a month just to get started. Rather, we use this new way, which is called organic marketing, by leveraging platforms like Facebook and Instagram to get clients for free. Now, we have over 7 different kinds that we teach in our university, but for the sake of time, let me just show you one organic strategy. It's called the VTP, otherwise known as a viral transformation post. This is a post where you share a little bit about your personal life and how your transformation has affected you. This is an example right here of a viral transformation post I made. Now, the first thing you want to do is show some kind of pain and vulnerability. As you can see in red, I said the most embarrassing venture I ever had was an ATM because one of my ATMs literally got robbed and I lost thousands of dollars on that venture. The second thing you're going to want to include is inspiration. You see at the bottom there, I said, if no one is believing in you right now, believe in yourself. I'm rooting for you every step of the way. And then the third thing that you want to do is include a memorable image. And here I showed an image of my ATM actually getting robbed. Now, let me give you an example of a student in our university, Chris, who had a fitness transformation and has a fitness e-learning business. He ended up getting on this post over 800 likes and engagements on this post. And the crazy thing is, in his first 30 days, he made $10,000. The coolest part is Chris is actually a medical school student who only has about an hour a day to work on his business, and he still made it happen. Ege here, who wanted to help other guys have more confidence with dating girls, he ended up creating this post to inspire other young men, and he got over 153 likes. And he ended up making $14.3 thousand in 27 days teaching other guys how to be more confident in dating relationships. At the very minimum, this post should get you about 60 likes, and then we move on to the next part, which is called the conversion conversation. Now, this is a message conversation that leads to a phone call, and typically most people get this wrong because they like to send hundreds of cold outbound messages only to find out their Facebook account gets blocked. Now, the right way to do this is to extract a clear pain in the prospect's life, and then you want to establish you and your offer as a clear solution to that pain. We've actually put together a word-for-word script that you can follow, and when you use this script, you get results like Will, who booked 12 calls last week and ended up making $8,000 in sales. Or Matt, who made $7,000 in sales with this script. Or even Vlad, who says this DM script has been so fire, he made $40,000 within his first 3 months inside of our uni. Now, once you have this down, you should be able to get a 33% conversion rate, which means 60 likes ends up turning into 20 conversations. And when you speak to these people, you send them a calendar in order to get them scheduled in with a call, and you can use a free tool like calendly.com. In fact, you can even set application questions so you only speak with qualified people. Now, once you send them the calendar, you should get about 33% of them to actually book a call. So if you speak with 20 people, about 6 of them are actually going to book. Then you move into the enrollment call. Now, the enrollment call is actually very simple. This is where you take someone's current situation, you identify where they're stuck, and then you talk about their goals of where they want to get to in their desired situation. And once you identify what the gap is, you position yourself and your offer as the solution that they need. Now, we've taken over 10,000 enrollment calls in our university, so we've gotten this down to an absolute science. In fact, my team and I packaged it into this easily followed word-for-word 7-page script. And people like Caden use this script and he made $22,000 in 24 hours. In fact, at the award ceremony, he got a $200,000 in 30 days award. Jet made $10,000 in 10 days with the script, and Vlad, he ended up making over $170,000 in the past 20 days. Now, if you stay to the end of this video, I'm actually going to give you a full course that breaks down how you can use the script for your own business as well. And really, at this point, about 33% of the people that you speak with will close. And so if you have 6 calls booked, about 2 of them will close. And if you have a $1,500 product, well, you just made $3,000 in sales. You see, making $100,000 a year with an e-learning business is really fun and simple. In fact, when you execute this process correctly, you should be able to get about 2 clients a week. And at $1,500 a client, that's $3,000 a week or $12,000 a month. That's $144,000 a year. Do you realize that making $100,000 a year at a job takes years of education and slave-like hours? But with an e-learning business, $100,000 is the minimum standard. Now, the third step is finding one mentor who's willing to go all in with you. Now, the main problem here is that when I was just getting started, I consumed endless amounts of content on social media, and everyone seemed like a mentor or guru. But 5 different people I would listen to, I would get contradicting advice from all of them. And so the issue here is that information overwhelm meant that nothing would ever work. I watched a YouTube video one time on how to start an ATM business, and so I spent all my money and I even borrowed $3,000 from my father. But just because I knew what to do, it didn't mean I knew the little nitty-gritty steps on how to actually do it the right way. And because I didn't have a mentor, that ATM ended up getting robbed, and I lost thousands of dollars and so much guilt, shame, and regrets, especially with my father. I knew I needed one mentor to hold my hand, to guide me to success, not listen to 14 different gurus who are all trying to shove a 997 course down my throat. And if you know Tony Robbins, who has a net worth of $600 million, he just says that if you want to be successful, just find someone who has already achieved the results you want and copy what they do, and you'll achieve the same results. It wasn't until I met my mentor that I truly learned how to build an e-learning business. And within 12 months, I made $500,000 in sales. And then 12 months later, I made another $5 million in sales. I've been able to buy my dream car. I can travel anywhere in the world at any time. And most importantly, I'm able to provide for my family. And at this point, you know how my students and I are able to create a 6-figure income with an e-learning business. And you might be wondering, how do I accelerate this process so that I can be on pace for $10,000 a month in as little as the next 30 days? And who's the best person who can mentor me to shorten the learning curve? Well, right now you really have two options. The first one is to go at it alone, which is stressful, it's information overwhelm, it's expensive, there's no guarantee of success, and it could take you years. And the second option is to go at it with Impact Clients University. This is faster, way more affordable and fun, there's less mistakes, and if you stay to the end of the video, I'm actually going to share with you how we guarantee your success. Now, Impact Clients University's mission is to reform the education system in two ways. Firstly, we want to provide 1 million ordinary people, college students, 9-to-5 employees, busy parents, with the extraordinary opportunity to turn their passions and skills into e-learning businesses to not only make a lot of money, but help a lot of people. And in the first 30 days of enrollment inside of our university, we start with step 1, which is helping you get rid of any fears or limiting beliefs that are holding you back from success. Then we help you figure out what your niche is. Now, don't worry, 40% of people enroll into our school and they don't have a single idea of how to get started. That's our job to help you out. Then in step 3, we help you build out your client getting machine funnel. And then step 4, we initiate your 10K and 30-day roadmap challenge, which is why our clients get such good results. Then on top of that, we help you scale your business from 6 to 7 figures as your business continues to grow and grow. But you might be wondering, what if I realize I'm not ready to build an e-learning business yet? Well, that brings me to the exact reason why I made this video. Because our second mission is to create 1 million remote online jobs for people who just want to work as an entrepreneur if they don't feel yet ready to build their own business. You see, we have a community of over 800 business owners who have already built 6 to 7 figure e-learning businesses. And because they're growing so fast, they desperately need help with sales, with marketing and operations. So if 30 days into our university curriculum, you give it a go and you feel like you're just not ready to build your own business yet, that's no problem. We'll help you find an entrepreneur opportunity, and there's so many online education businesses out there. And the best part is that getting paid 4 to 5 figures a month while gaining skills in an already successful business, well, hey, that's not that bad. And after a few months, when you're ready, you can restart your own business as well. So rather than take the entrepreneur path, you're going to start with the intrapreneur path to gain both skills while making great income, which is where we're going to first help you choose the right entrepreneur position. Then we're actually going to train you on how to perform well in your role. And then step 5, you're actually going to get paid really well to learn within a business. And at any point, whenever you feel ready, you can actually shift over back to the entrepreneur path, and then we're going to help you coach and restart that business as well. Now, who is this program not for? Now, first and foremost, you have to understand we are a private academic university, and like Harvard and Stanford, we cannot accept everyone. People who are completely broke and can't enroll into university should not apply. Because you have to understand university is not free. In fact, average tuition in the United States is $21,000 US per year. Now, we are not that expensive. Fortunately, our tuition fees are more affordable than the average community college. But even if we wanted to make this program free for you, that would not be good for you, because people who want something for nothing will never be successful. You have to have financial skin in the game to actually want it bad enough. I mean, how do you expect to sell other people into buying your product if you yourself are unwilling to invest in yourself? That's kind of hypocritical if you think about it, right? If you are a person who complains or makes excuses, if you are stuck in information gathering mode and are not prepared to take action and get results, and if you are not that serious about creating a 6-figure income, at least at the very minimum, then this is not for you. Who is this for then? Well, if you want to take control of your life and change your finances for the better, if you want to add an additional income stream that could easily add an extra $10,000 per month with about 10 to 15 hours per week of work, if you already have an e-learning business but you want to take it to the next level, or if you understand that there is no cap to your income, but building a business takes time, hard work, financial capital, and this is not a get-rich-quick money grab, then this is absolutely for you. So if this sounds like you and you want to see what it looks like to enroll into our university, then let's talk. Over the next few days, my team has set aside 45-minute slots to give you a free strategy session. This is where we're going to go ahead and diagnose your situation. Look at what your goals are, what your niche could be, and then we're going to help you map out a clear action plan of how you can achieve $10,000 per month in as little as the next 30 days. I'm serious when I say this. This might be the most valuable 45 minutes that you invest this year. And then if we feel like we can help, we'll provide you with a customized game plan of what actually our university could look like for you specifically. And secondly, you need to understand we can't help everyone. Every time we're looking for 10 to 20 new students to enroll into our program who want to make a serious income, we run this video. And then as soon as we find those students, we shut down this video. So if that's you, click the link below, fill out an application, and book a call. Because there's only two situations here. The worst case is that the call is free, and even if we can't help you, we'll show you the exact steps that I would personally do if I were in your situation to achieve your goals. And you're basically getting free insight from a mentor who's making over $5 million a year. And the best case situation is we can 100% help you, and we'll invite you into the university. We'll train you, we'll give you one-on-one mentorship until you reach your goals, whether that be 5K, a 10K, or even $20,000 a month plus business. Basically, there's no risk to booking a call. The only risk you do have is taking everything you've learned today and going off and trying to figure it out on your own and spending the next 3 years trying to launch your e-learning business when our average student makes 10K in the first 30 to 45 days of enrolling into our university. And if you're too beginner, no worries. We'll help you find an entrepreneur opportunity within an already successful business. That way you get paid handsomely while learning. Just like Adam here, who ended up making $10,000 in 4 days of joining our university. Or Newton, who in his first 30 days ended up making $30,000. So click the link below to apply. And after you book your call, if you want to get access to that free course, that's going to be on the next page as well. So we look forward to seeing you on the application. So go ahead and click the link below to book a call.